Hi, I want to make a video about space and how we interact with our environments, and it's more of a philosophical, I guess, in a way, physical subject I want to touch upon in this video. And in this video, I want to make another illusion, another comparison to understanding and barriers of existence, and how what we're living in is obviously, I guess it comes down to a perception of existence and how we're stuck in these, there's only walls, right? How we're stuck in these confinements, not only in our body, but in existence itself. We're stuck in a room, or you're stuck around on a spherical thing that we call a planet, or you're stuck on between something. And between these somethings, there's space. And between the space and the space is in between something else, like the bread. It doesn't have any meat in it yet, and you're holding the two pieces very close to each other, or wherever, whatever distance. There's walls around this space. And in many cases, this is the space that we exist in. And in many cases, we're mostly space ourselves. And we're mostly space ourselves because atoms are spread apart just the right amount, where there's more space than there are atoms, and obviously inside the atoms there's more space, and so on and so forth. And in this space, and generally speaking, it's made up of a bunch of space in different configurations, making up different things, making up different shapes and different configurations to make something exist a certain way. So yes, so yeah, I mean, that's really the only idea, is there's only space to create another wall. Once you have space, you're only going to wait, sort of like once you're in the perfect condition, there's only reaching an end. There's only going downhill. There's only facing the dead end once you reach, having all the knowledge. Or there's reaching there's only going down once you're at the top of the mountain. There's only going down from there. And if you're not going down, you're climbing up. And if you're climbing up, you're going through the deprivation. If you're going down, you're escaping it. But then once you're going down, you're only creating room for more deprivation. And that's how existence works. Reaching the dead end, you're in the space, you're moving around, and you're moving around to reach another barrier or another wall. In many cases, whatever it may be, you walk from one side of your room to the other, and you see something. There's a door. Okay, I reach the end. Okay, now I'm going to open the door and I'm going to walk through, and there's a hallway. But at the end of the hallway, at the end of the kitchen, or whatever room you're staring down, there's another wall for you to run into. And that's the thing that gives our environment its character. Without our environment having character, then there's nothing here but empty space. And the empty space is the only thing that gives us anything. And once we reach the end of the empty space, there's a wall for us to run into. And beyond being able to knock into the wall and interact with it by, say, sensing it and touching it and recognizing it's there, it's not serving any other purpose, but we're just touching it and now we're interacting with it. And there's nothing much else to do but walk around the wall and find something to walk around it with. Or you go around, and the wall is the end. We're either interacting with nothing, the air, or something else, or a boundary, say touching, say writing with a pencil. It's a boundary which you're holding your hand around to interact with, say writing with the ink or the lead and your pencil, your graphite, and then writing with that, or whatever it may be, to use a specific example. It means something to a certain extent, but beyond that, it doesn't do anything. We're interacting with boundaries, we're interacting with certain objects, but I guess in many ways it comes down to perceiving it a certain way. We're interacting, and I think the best thing to come away from this video is that you're walking through space to run into another barrier. So like, say, driving in traffic or walking in a line. You're gonna have to turn around at some point, otherwise there's nothing else to go towards except walking into a wall. And if you're walking into a wall, you're not going anywhere. And it's about movement. And once you're moving, there's nothing to move beyond except an empty space to reach another barrier or another boundary in which you have to find a way to go around it or do something. to go beyond your interaction. So when you're doing these interactions, it's either interacting with empty space, even though we're in air, walking, if you're able to move, whatever it may be, in one macro or on a micro level, and moving your hand, moving your body. There's spaces and there's things that we have to interact with. I push against my two hands, and they create a boundary. For the other hand, an equal and opposite reaction if you want to be more scientific with it. Yes, there's an equal and opposite reaction unless you want to say break through the wall. But, and to a certain extent, all we're doing is interacting with objects, and that's what it comes down to, is interaction. And that's how this, I guess I can bring this full circle around, is that we're just interacting. We're interacting and finding our way through the obstacle course of existence on planet Earth right now, trying to find our way to survive for no good reason other than to survive, to make the existence go on another generation for no good reason, but to do the same old silly projection game one more time for one more person, or for one more period of time for some other group of people, sentient creatures. And that's all we're doing, is doing the same old redundant process over and over again. And there's nothing else we're doing or accomplishing. It's just the same thing over and over again. And the same thing can be said every step you take towards the new wall, new boundary you take, is a redundant thing just to reach a dead end anyway. So that you can do the same thing over again, walk right back, so you can walk right back over there to get to your the kitchen, to your bedroom. You're just going to be doing the same thing over again. I can't wait to have my same old meal. I can't wait to go back to my room and take a nap. I can't wait to do this. I can't wait to do that. It's just the same old thing over and over again. It's about finding a way around the environment. And nothing more, nothing really less, to describe the circumstances of interacting with some object and using that to scheme your way through existence. So that's all we're really doing, is scheming our way through existence. And regardless of that, we have to have these interactions. And without interaction, there is no existence, and obviously we're interacting with our environments. I know this video doesn't seem very useful, but it is something that, it requires a perception, or it can instigate a perception, and and realizing exactly what it means and how it really does connect, and how all these different things can all come together, especially when it comes to interacting with boundaries and things like that, and how that's all we're really doing, is interacting without boundaries and different environments, and how all we're doing is walking towards a wall to find our way around the wall, or just to walk back. And that's all it is, empty space and things that are in between us and more empty space. Sort of like between the walls is just empty space, and you're in empty space to reach another new wall, another new boundary, to find another problem, or another way to have a problem, to find a way to solve a way around the wall, or realize, puzzle yourself into recognizing, oh, I need to turn around and find another way around. Or just turn around and go back to where I came from. And that's all it is problem solving and finding ways around our problems, and walking into walls and finding ways around these walls, if there is a way around the wall. Otherwise, there's nothing around the wall. There's nothing, period. Beyond the same old redundant process that you're going to be going, okay, I'm going to go to a kitchen on this side of the wall as opposed to the kitchen on this side of the wall, because it has an extra spatula I need to, flip 2 burgers at once as opposed to 1. Some arbitrary crap that doesn't mean much of anything. So it's doing nothing just to serve a function because I exist, and it only has value because I exist to make it have value beyond my own value myself, and experiencing a deprivation in existence. So yeah, I hope this video wasn't horribly redundant, but I wanted to get that subject out of the way one more time and come at it from a slightly different point of view to make it seem more understandable, at least, and try to connect it to all these different ideas that obviously I've gone over and many people have gone over before. It's a nice little metaphor, at least, for understanding the analogies of existence and how we're experiencing our deprivation, and how it's about problem solving, and there's nothing but deprivation and finding ways around our problems and issues. So yes, and having a deprivation game, and now there's no purpose beyond trying to solve problems and find ways around our issues and the silliness of existence. So yes, I think that's all I need to say. And so until next time, if I have anything else to mention on the subject, I will mention in another video. So thank you, and until next time, bye.